What is up everyone, Movie Wayne back again with another end of month vlog. This is just me talking about all the movies and TV shows that I watched in January 2021. Now some of these are on Blu-ray, some of them have been streamed, you get the gist. I'd just like to say there was 2 and a bit TV shows that I've watched, which did eat up some of the time. I didn't watch as many movies as I'd like to. I usually watch more than this, but there's still a fair enough amount here to talk about. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'd just like to say thank you so much to everyone who subscribed this month. I did hit 700 subscribers and I've actually hit over 750 now, which is just absolutely amazing. Thank you everyone who is new to the channel and old as well. I really do appreciate it. Hope you're all enjoying the content. And like I said, hope you enjoy this video as well. So the first thing I just want to mention before I get into what I have fully watched is a TV show that I've just started really, and that is WandaVision. I know everyone has watched the first full 4 episodes, but I've watched the first one. I really enjoyed it, and it won't take me long to catch up. I mean, they're only half an hour long each. Some of them are less, to be honest. And I thought it was okay, you know. I got into it. I liked the way it was filmed and the black and white aspect and stuff. I do think I know what's going to happen, but I might be totally wrong, and there might be people who've watched episode 2, 3 and 4 and saying that I haven't got a clue, but I feel like it's going to be something like the Truman Show or something. But like I said, could be totally wrong. Interesting take from Marvel and Disney to do this, but I can't wait to see what unfolds. Really like Paul Bettany as an actor as well, and just think he's great. But I'm really looking forward to that. I will talk more about that maybe next month or March, whenever it finishes, and I'll do a full review on the channel because why not? There is also some reviews for these movies that I will mention. When I do mention them, if I review them, I'll let you know. But the first movie I watched this month, now I'd just like to say I do pick a pick of the month every month, the best movie or TV show that I watched of the month. And we're gonna start with the New Year's Day watch here. Straight out the bat, this is my pick of the month. By the way, some of the movies after this are still good. This was the best by a mile. And that is Whiplash. I can't believe this was a first time watch for me. I don't know why I put it off for so long. I think I just didn't fancy the type of film that it was. And my fiance didn't fancy it either. I mean, she usually watches anything, but she said, I don't fancy that at all. So I watched it on my own. I was blown away by this. It was absolutely amazing. One of the best films I have ever seen. It might be in that 10 out of 10 category that I put so many little films in. But I'm going to watch it again and, you know, give my full thoughts on it. I might do a review on this on the channel. I don't know yet. But J.K. Simmons was unbelievable in this. What a acting performance this was, and Miles Teller was not as good, but you know, still really solid in this film. But J.K. Simmons was the standout. What a great film this was from Damien Chazelle, and at the end I was actually, you know, sort of cheering for Miles Teller's character. I don't remember actually shouting at the screen like I did in this movie for a long time. I just wanted this guy to prove J.K. Simmons wrong. If you haven't seen this, make it the top of your to watch list because it is unbelievable. And I wanted to start this year by seeing some of the best movies, the best critically acclaimed films of, you know, in the past that I've missed. And this was high on the list, and I'm glad I've watched it now. Can't wait to watch it again. I am definitely going to get my fiance to watch this one next time with me because she is missing out if she doesn't. What a film. Pick of the month. Amazing movie. I loved every second of it. Now next up is a movie that splits opinion really. I think some people don't like this, but I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a fun movie. And that is Mulan on 4K. By the way, can I just say this is probably one of the best looking 4Ks I own, if not the best. The picture quality here was amazing. Absolutely unbelievable looking film. But I had fun with this. I actually enjoyed all the side characters that she's in the army with and stuff. The only problem I really had was that you could tell she was a girl and she's disguised as a boy and no one gets onto it. But I could tell that she was a woman for sure. But I suppose that's a hard fiat to pull off really. You know, it's way easier in animation, I suppose. But I like this. The witch was a bit of a dodgy character there. Not sure about that. But I had a lot of fun with this film. It's like a 7 out of 10, you know. I thought it was okay. Not bad. Doesn't deserve some of the hate it gets. Next up is carrying on my last summer series. I watched I Know What You Did Last Summer in December, and this month I watched I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, this wasn't as good. It had a lot of problems, some of the worst character decisions I have ever seen in a movie. There's a moment with Jennifer Love Hewitt. She knows that this killer's on the island and a dead body's been found in a room and no one believes her, and then she just goes and gets a sunbed. Goes on a sunbed and forgets about it and puts a Walkman in so she can't hear nothing. I was just like, really? But it wasn't bad. If you're a slasher film fan, you might have some fun with this. There's some good kills in there. I've got a full review of this on the channel in a horror revisited episode, and I'll leave all the links to the movies I've reviewed in this end of month vlog down below, including this one, so don't forget to check that out if you're a horror fan. I go into detail on this and talk spoilers and stuff. Next up is, I watched Misery for the first time last year as well. I don't sound like the biggest film fan here, do I? But I thought that was one of the best films I've ever seen as well. And ever since watching that, I always seen this in HMV, and I was really intrigued about it because of Kathy Bates' character, and it looked like the same type of film, a Stephen King adaptation as well, and that is Dolores Claiborne. Now, this was a really good story. You know, you don't quite know who to believe, whose side to be on, and when the truth comes out, it's really unfolds really well. It's a very well told story, really good thriller. The flashback scenes were kind of upsetting, really, with Dolores' husband and stuff. He wasn't a very nice man in this film, but I recommend this if you love a good, well-told story, a well-told thriller, you know, like sort of crime type movie. I definitely recommend this. I don't think Jennifer Jason Leigh was... I couldn't get on board with the character as much as Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates was still great in this though, but she wasn't bad. It's just a very, very average character, I thought. But Kathy Bates was definitely the standout once again. Really good movie. Not my favourite Stephen King adaptation, but a good one. Next up is, sorry, I'm just looking at the list there because I can't remember them all in order. So if I do look over there, it's because I'm looking at the list of movies that I've got next. Now, this is one of the... I watched this because I was doing a collaboration with Andy and Aiden. I'll leave that down below as well if you want to check it out. And we were talking about our favourite movies that we would watch over and over. And we had one to pick from each genre. And the comedy section, Aiden picked Airplane. This was a first time watch for me, again, considered one of the best comedies of all time, if not the best. I thought the humour in this was really funny. It just, towards the end, started to feel repetitive and stuff, but there was loads of moments here I was laughing, especially at the start when the guy is guiding a plane into the airport and someone asks him something, he goes, oh yeah, it's over there, and then you just see the plane crash into the airport. Just like a big explosion of glass everywhere and stuff. But yeah, it was funny. I had a good time with this. I thought the humour, like I said, is kind of dated for me now, but it's still a fun movie. I can see why people love it. Wasn't bad. Now, next up is the only DVD in this pile. I don't really buy DVDs anymore, but you couldn't get this on Blu-ray. And my friend who I used to work with, Aiden, bought me this as a little gift because we were talking about it. And that is The Believer with Ryan Gosling. This is one of Ryan Gosling's first ever performances. And I can't lie, I didn't love the movie, but I did really like Ryan Gosling in this. You can tell why he's gone on to bigger and better things. He plays this young Nazi who hates Jews and stuff, and you know, just wants to like kill a Jew, and he's going out beating Jews up and stuff. It was okay in parts, but I don't know, I appreciated the performance of Ryan Gosling more, but I'm really glad I've watched it now after talking about it with Aiden. Aiden, thank you so much, you know, for gifting me this. I really appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much. Kind of miss Aiden now. I don't work with him no more, but yeah, thanks again, mate. Kind of like American History X vibe, this. Now, next up, we do have a movie. So I've grabbed the Blu-ray there, but that's not time for that one yet. Next up is a movie I watched on Netflix. This is technically a 2020 movie, but it did release about the 8th of January or 9th of January, and that is Pieces of a Woman. Now, Vanessa Kirby gave an absolutely amazing performance in this. Thought she was brilliant. Shia LaBeouf is in this as well. And I have a full review for this down below if you want to check it out. But I think Vanessa Kirby should get an Oscar here because she was that good. It was one of the best acting performances I'd seen in a very, very long time. She was amazing. She is... Oh, I've seen her in Mission Impossible as well. I thought she was great in that. I know she's in The Crown, which is something I've never really seen, but I can see her being in a lot more movies now for sure. She was just unbelievable. One of the best performances I've seen from an actress, like I said, in a very long time. If not overall, ever. It was that good, so definitely check it out. Great filmmaking as well. I think the director is called Mandruxo, but the first 20-25 minutes of this are really tense, and the way he films it, it's kind of simple, but it's all in one take, but he's just moving the camera up and down, but it's so effective. If you're not going to watch the whole movie, maybe just watch the first 20 minutes of that, but really, really good film. Really enjoyed it. Review down below if you want to check it out. Now, next up, I've done a collaboration video with my friend Tony. What I'll do, I'll just leave the collaboration playlist down below, because the other one I done with Aiden and Andy is in 2 parts and stuff. But I done a collaboration video with my friend Tony on gangster films, and it was a really fun collaboration. I really had a good time with it. And we've got another one coming up soon on the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, which I can't wait for, actually. That maybe this month. Really can't wait for that. But I hadn't seen this film that he picked, so I bought the Blu-ray and watched it, and I had a really good time with it. And that is Black Mass starring Johnny Depp. Now, what I will say in this, Johnny Depp plays James Whitey Bulger, who is like an Irish, I don't know if he's an Irish crime boss in Boston, and he just runs the place. You know, everyone's scared of him and stuff, and you can see why in this movie. I remember him being on the FBI Most Wanted list. I think he was above Osama bin Laden at the time. But he was really scary in this, a terrifying character. Never seen Johnny Depp in this type of role. I've seen him in Blow, but he's not like, you know, he's sort of dealing drugs and stuff, but he's not like this. This, he is very sinister. The way he looks at people, he's got like these blue eyes, like what they called contacts, and it makes him look really scary. Honestly, he is so scary in this movie. I recommend just watching it just for his performance, but it's a good story, a true story as well, worth checking out. I think it could have been constructed a little bit better because I was getting lost sometimes, but I think if I watch it again, I'd probably get the full movie, but my attention span was fully on the film, and I did get lost a few times here and there. But Johnny Depp's performance was amazing. There's a moment where he asked this guy for a recipe, and he goes, oh, it's a family secret, and he goes, now come on, tell me, and the guy tells him, and he's like, oh, you just give up your secret just like that, how can I trust you? And it's like, ooh. really enjoyed this one. Yeah, like I said, don't forget to check out the collaboration with Tony as well on gangster movies. Next up is a film I watched on Netflix, my first movie of 2021. It was released this year, and that was Outside the Wire, and I hope it picks up from here on because it weren't very good at all. I have a full review for this down below. I thought that Anthony Mackie was okay in this. I liked his bad boy attitude where he's like swearing all over the place and telling people off. I thought it was quite funny. But ultimately, a very below par action film. But I'll leave it down below with the link if you want to check it out. Next up, we do have the one you've all been waiting for. Have you seen the thumbnail to this video? Oh, here we go. Howard the Duck, the first ever Marvel movie, and it's got a little bit of a different cover here. I'll just show you really quick. Probably a bad idea, but the egg isn't cracked here, and here it is, he's coming out. Now, I did not expect this movie to be like this. It was definitely more adult orientated. There's lots of sex jokes and stuff, and Howard, I love him. He's a great character. He's so funny. Leah Thompson's in this as well, who you remember from Back to the Future and the movie Dennis. She plays Dennis's mum. I've always liked her as an actress. She was really good in this. I thought the ending dragged on a little bit where that guy turns into an alien, you know, Ed from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the head teacher. He turns into like this alien sort of thing, and I thought that dragged on a little bit, but it was always good to see Howard on screen, and I think he's like scaring people by this waterfall in the city, outside the city hall, and this guy is staring at him, and he goes, "Rah!" and just scares him, and the guy goes, "Oh," runs away. But he's doing it on purpose and stuff. He's a really fun character. I think they should remake this Marvel, to be honest. I think it'd be really good. There's a little snippet of him in Avengers Endgame. Look out for that. You can find that on YouTube. But really, you know, I enjoyed this film. It was 3 out of 5. You know, it is what it is. Don't take it too seriously, but have fun with it. Howard the Duck. Next up, me and my fiance have decided to watch the whole MCU, all 23 films, once again. Now, I have seen them all. She hasn't. She's seen most of them. But I was up for it. I thought, you know what? I wouldn't mind giving them all a rewatch because I do like them. I know people love them to death and stuff. But I'm just like, yeah, kind of like Star Wars. Yeah, I just like them for what they are. But I'm kind of enjoying it a bit more this time around. So first off, obviously, I started with, I'm going by release date here. I know people say watch Captain Marvel first. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go by order of release date. And of course it is Iron Man, the very first Marvel film. I remember having a really good time with this when I first watched it. I thought it was overlooked a little bit by The Dark Knight that year. And I watched this all around Christmas time because I got the Blu-ray. And I was kind of blown away. I thought it was a really good film. And it still stands up. It's crazy to go back to this and watch the simplicity of it. Not taking away anything from Avengers Endgame or Infinity War because I like them movies as well. But it was nice to just see a more simple linear story, really. A more simple plot you can just relax to. And an easy watch, really. Robert Downey Jr. is amazing in this. What a character role he plays here. And yeah, probably everyone's favourite Avenger, really, isn't he? He's definitely mine, anyway. But yeah. Iron Man. I've got a full review for this down below if you want to check it out, because I'm reviewing every single Marvel movie on the channel and then I'm going to rank all 23 films. Hopefully get it done in time for Black Widow. I heard that's coming out in May, is it? April, May? I think it's May, but I'm going to try and watch them all before then. But I have the Incredible Hulk down there as well. Spoiler for what's coming up on this video, Jordan. But that is Iron Man. Next up, I want to thank a YouTuber called Jamie Powell for sending me this. He was selling it on his Instagram and I just jumped in there and bought it because I went to HMV to try and get this over Christmas and they didn't have it. And I really, really loved the first movie, so I had to see this. And that is Train to Busan Peninsula. So thank you, Jamie Powell, for sending me this. I'll leave his link down below as well, why not? But yeah, it was always going to be hard to beat the first one because the first one is probably one of the best zombie films I've ever seen. And I thought this started off really good. And then when they went to this city, I just didn't like it. The characters there were just not likable. They're not meant to be, but it was all very dark and I just didn't like the cinematography of it. These people running the town and stuff. Yeah. Nowhere near as good as the first one. It was okay. It's watchable. Some great kill moments and stuff. The ending's quite good as well. It's just the middle there where it just fell flat for me. And there's a moment where they're doing like this big game show sort of thing with these victims who've got to fight the zombies, take on swarms of zombies and stuff, and everyone's cheering. It's kind of stupid. But that is Train to Busan Peninsula. Glad to see it anyway. I really wanted to go to the cinema and see that last year, but obviously lockdown came back into effect. So next up we do have The Mandalorian Season 2 on Disney+. Now I'm behind it. Sometimes I watch TV series a little bit after people. I'm going to try and keep up this year like I am with WandaVision now. Obviously I'm a little bit behind, but when that finishes I will have it finished as well, along with everyone else, because I want to avoid spoilers and stuff. Anyway, The Mandalorian Season 2, what a TV show this is. I thought it was the first season was slightly better, but Season 2 was still very, very enjoyable. I think the first episode was probably the best, to be honest, where they fight this big sand dragon. Timothy Olyphant was in that episode as well, which is a welcome addition. But, I forgot his name. Pedro Pascal is so good as the Mandalorian in this. And I'm not a massive Star Wars fan, but I think this is probably my favourite thing to come out of the Star Wars universe. And it's actually making me want to go back and rewatch the Star Wars movies now. I do think I'm going to enjoy them a lot more this time around after watching this, because I'm in the mood. I'm planning on reviewing this on the channel. I know it's going to be kind of late, but I reviewed the first season, so I feel like I've got to do this one. So, sorry I'm behind on that. There was another episode, actually, by the way, I'd just like to say. I forgot the woman's name. She's off Sin City. Anyway, she is like this Jedi, and this hierarchy want to get rid of her, so they pay the Mandalorian to go and kill her in this forest or jungle type thing, and he ends up teaming up with her and stuff because it's them who are in the wrong. I just thought that was a great episode. It looked really good, like very, very green, if you get me. It's each planet seems to have a theme. So yeah, and Baby Yoda, what a character. Although we do find out his real name in this one. Next up is another TV series that I watched. I told you some TV series kind of took the month up here. And that is Night Stalker, The Hunt for a Serial Killer. Now I have reviewed this on the channel. I'll leave that down below as well. This was really, really shocking true crime documentary about the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. I thought this was done really, really well. Very well constructed documentary. And these two detectives who are telling you the story, you kind of fall in love with them. Not in love with them, but you know, you get on side with them and you know, really get invested in their characters. Even though they're not characters, they're real life detectives. And my fiance was sort of getting upset towards the end because she was so happy for one of them, if you get me. That's why I sort of said fall in love with them, because she sort of did. But this is a really shocking true crime documentary. I could not believe some of the stuff this man was doing to people. How could you do that to someone? Some of these things. It was just... I knew of Richard Ramirez, but I didn't know he'd done... Like, he's up there with the worst serial killers for me. He didn't kill as many people, but he probably would have if he never got caught. But the way he was killing his victims was horrifying. It really was. And I highly... If you like true crime, I highly recommend you watch this. If you're interested in that sort of thing. Next up is the spoiler we talked about before, and that is The Incredible Hulk. Now, I remember not really liking this. It was always the odd one out of the MCU, really, because Ed Norton was swiftly replaced with Mark Ruffalo, and it just had a different tone and vibe to the rest of the MCU. It wasn't very... There was fun moments and funny moments, but not as many. But I had a good time with this, you know. I remember not liking it when I first watched it, but this time round I had a lot of fun with it. Not as good as Iron Man, but it's not as bad as another movie that I've watched. Which I'll just spoil it again in a minute. I'll talk about that one in a minute. But I really enjoyed this. I've got a full review for this down below if you want to check it out. Yeah, The Incredible Hulk. Next, really surprised me. Next up is a movie that is very... It got lots of good reviews on Letterboxd after I watched it, and I couldn't believe it because I just thought it wasn't very good. It's okay in places, but that is King of New York, the Arrow version. Christopher Walken in a main role. Not every day you see that, is it? It's got Wesley Snipes in and Lawrence Fishburne as well. Lawrence Fishburne was actually quite good in this, but it's just a cops first gangsters film, and it's not very well shot. And I get it, it's an 80s movie and stuff, and it's not... Sometimes they can look a little bit strange, can't they? But I just didn't connect with this film like most people do. I've heard so many good things about it as well. But yeah, I think I give it 2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Yeah, just could not get into this movie at all. By the way, it was very hard to understand. I don't know if Arrow messed the sound up here. I don't think it's my TV because every other Blu-ray since has worked. Every other Blu-ray before it's worked with the audio. So the audio was very hard to hear on this. I think there's a 4K version out now. I don't know if they've tweaked it or whatever. But it was very hard to understand. I was thinking about putting subtitles on. I'm not even joking. That is King of New York. Sorry if you're a fan of that movie, but yeah, just wasn't for me. By the way, if you want to follow my Letterboxd, the link is always in the description down below, along with my Instagram and Twitter, what have you. Next up is another movie from 2021 that I watched called The Dig. Now, this stars Ralph Fiennes, Carey Mulligan, and Lily James. Lily James was definitely the standout of this film, but the whole cast done a really great job here. This is basically about this woman who hires this guy to dig up these mud mounds in a rural estate in Suffolk. It's a true story. It happens just before the World War II. Just happens just before World War II. But I found it a little bit boring. It looked good. The acting was good. But I just was bored watching it in patches. But I've got a full review for this down below if you want to check it out. I'll leave that down below as well. Next up is another MCU movie. Now, I haven't reviewed this one yet, but that is Iron Man 2. I am working on my review right now. Wasn't as good as the first one though. I don't want to speak too much about it because I'm going to go into detail on it on a cinema revisited episode that should be out on the channel in a few days, hopefully. Definitely this week at some point. Because we're watching one a week now. I'm not going to overload the channel with MCU content. There'll be 1, 2 at most a week probably. But this felt like a movie that connects the dots. It didn't feel like an Iron Man film as much as the first one. Well, compared to the first one. And I thought The Incredible Hulk was actually a better film, to be honest. But I'll leave my full thoughts in the next video when I review this. So look out for that. And lastly, I watched a film called Below Zero, and that is on Netflix. This is a 2021 film. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this because I'm working on a review for it. I'm trying to watch as many movies as I can from 2021. I'm going to try and see as many as possible and review them on a channel. So this will be my third 2021 review, and I thought it was okay, you know. If you go on my 2021 movie ranking, this will be first, but there is only 3 movies there, so I'm sure that'll change in time. But this is a decent action movie, that's all you need to know. But look out for my review on that, which may be out tomorrow or the next day. So that is Below Zero on Netflix, and it's a Spanish movie. It is dubbed though, so maybe that'll help if you don't like subtitles. And that is it, guys. That is everything I watched this month. I usually do watch more than this, like I said, but I love making these videos. These are my favourite videos to make. I hope you enjoyed it too. Is there anything here that you might want to watch that I've recommended? Is there anything you've seen? Leave it down below and I'll apply to every single one of you, I promise. And if you've got any recommendations that you'd like me to watch as well, I just want to do a quick apology to my friend Teddy, who has asked me to watch this movie on Amazon Prime called Joyride now for the longest time. And I'm going to make a promise here, Teddy. I will watch it this month. That is a promise, my friend, okay? I'm really sorry. He's been a big supporter of the channel, and I feel really bad now that I haven't watched it. Teddy, this month, baby, I'm going to watch it. I promise. And that is it, guys. Thanks so much. Take it all easy. And I'll see you all in the next video.